Live on radio, live online. This is the game plan. And the first thing we want you to do today, share the link. It's not midnight, but share the link. Go to your Facebook, hit Joy Sports or Joy 99.7 FM. Go to your Twitter. Go to Joy 997 FM or Joy Sports GH. You see the links there for the various social networks. I mean Twitter, formerly known as X, formerly known as Twitter. And share the link. By the time the sick tune is done, we would all be done sharing the link, and then we give it a go. This is Game Plan. I'm Gary Al Smith sitting in for Fento Tahiru, who is Budapest bound. Been doing some crazily good work from Budapest. Picturesque city. And amazing game so far in the World Athletics Championships. We'll be getting a lowdown of that. But first of all, it's been a good week for sport generally, apart from the World Athletics Championships. We've been getting lots and lots of highlights in terms of who's been winning what, who's been falling down at crucial moments in the games, who has been upsetting the card, who has not been up to scratch as well. And of course, the Ghana team have disappointed. Today, we should have been on this show previewing what would have been a participation probably in the 200-meter final for Joe Paul Amoa or James Dazi. Instead, we're here to talk about the effect of the withdrawal. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. We are live on Joy 99.7 FM, live on Hits 103.9 FM, live on Facebook on Joy Sports Live, on Joy Sports, also on Facebook and Joy 997 FM, also live on Twitter, streaming on Twitter Spaces. Don't forget to share the link. Game Plan is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol is always a delightful experience, and brought to you also by Betway. Bet your way. We'll be looking briefly at Midiama going to Africa and going to Nigeria to face Remo Stars. They won by a goal to nil. That's Midiama in the first. They by 1 goal to nil. Jonathan Soa with a really good goal. I'm not sure if you've seen the highlight, whether the goal was a deflection or it was a straight attempt, but it was a really good goal. They had absolutely no clue, the goalkeeper for Remo Stars as well. Dreams FC also went to Guinea and played against Milo FC. Milo FC will be coming to town this weekend. We'll be talking about that briefly. But guess what? The whole world, nobody make hot pass. Pass some guy called Luis Rubiales. The Spanish FA boss decided to take matters into his own mouth. So yeah, when they won the World Cup, when Spain beat England to win the World Cup on Sunday, we all thought all the talk was going to be about the Spanish and how good and tiki-taka-ish their football has been. Instead, well, what happened was that Luis Rubiales was a bit overexcited, he said, and caught Jenny Hermoso, their gangly number 10, and gave her a kiss on the lips, and they didn't like it. The world has been going crazy and agog since then. There's been a lot of talk about him resigning. And today, just before we came on air, about 30 minutes ago, this is what he said. So the interesting thing is that they had the Congress, the Spanish Football Congress today, and on the agenda there was nothing about this topic on the agenda. Everybody thought to be on the agenda, but of course, our instant referee had other ideas, and so there's been a lot of pressure in the Spanish media and the Spanish public. The Minister of Culture, the Deputy Prime Minister has been speaking. A lot of high-profile people in Spain have been speaking, and so because of that, Rubiales was forced to speak, and this is what he said.
Para que pidan mi dimisión.
Is that so serious that I have to leave while having done the best job for Spanish football? Do you really believe that I have to resign? Well, I'm going to tell you something.
No voy a dimitir.
I will not resign.
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 So there's only one song I can think of for this situation. It is by Calvin Harris and Dua Lipa. And that's why I bring in my guys in the studio. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How you gonna do? How you gonna do? Charlie. So the turntables. Let me tell listeners that Charlie, you know, when issues like this Rubiales thing come, Charlie, sometimes the best answer is to be silent, because
you go sleep.
Charlie, if you sleep,
This one, it was the sleep of the lips.
you know, so there's been a lot of talk and reaction today of all days. Today is the first time that you've had quite a number of players. So Isco spoke about it yesterday. Isco spoke about it yesterday. But in the last 2 hours, David De Gea has commented on it. And this was immediately after Rubiales said this, what I just played for you. He commented on his Twitter. He didn't mention his name or anything. He just put a circus and a clown mask there, and he said, to translate into English, my ears are bleeding. Alexis Putellas, you know, multiple, said to be the best player in the world over the last couple of years in terms of the women, also said that this is unacceptable and it shouldn't be going on, and she expressed her support for Jenny Hermoso as well. Now, Jenny Hermoso's response herself has been confusing, because immediately after the thing happened on Sunday, she goes onto her Instagram and she comments on a story and says, I didn't like it. So that was her initial first response, right? Then a statement was put out on her behalf by, I think, her management company. And they said, oh, the thing wasn't any EBR, but Jenny doesn't think it's a big deal, and that Rubiales must have acted out of excitement. And so initially, these two responses were even contradictory. One by Jenny on her Instagram and by her management company. Then after that, pressure started mounting, at which time her answers also started changing. She had an interview immediately after that where she spoke about it, and she told the line of a management company and said on air, on record, that it's not a big deal. That's what she said. That is not a big deal, and so they should let it go. Then afterwards, after 2 days, with all the pressure, a statement was issued by the Spanish Football Players Welfare Union, FootPro, and they issued a statement with her consent and said that, you know, it wasn't good, they needed to have action, and so on and so forth. This was after members of high-ranking members of Spanish society had come out to speak about it. The Minister of Culture said that Rubiales has done in public what we've always known to do him, what we've always known him to do in private, you know. And the allegations are that he's been superintending over this attitude for a long time. In fact, some have said that he's not being punished for the case per se, but because he has failed to sack the coach and he has overseen a culture of what they say has been a culture that doesn't allow the women to express themselves and so on. You might have heard, even before the tournament started, that up to 12, at least 12 key players of the Spanish national team had written an open letter saying that because of the unfavorable conditions under which they train and play, they can't work with the coach and take him and be with him at the Women's World Cup. They won despite their absence of these 12 players, and people still insist that it is not the coach who won the games, that it is the players who won the games. I don't know how that is possible.
That conversation.
Yeah, they say the players won the tournament in spite of the coach, even though he coached them to the title. Okay, so these 12 players were not there. They won the title. They wanted him out, and they said some of the key players who came back did so because they were looking at their careers, and so they did it out of self-preservation, and that's why. And so they wanted this coach out. Why have they wanted him out? Among the things they accuse him of include the fact that apparently when they go to hotels, he asks them not to close their doors so that he can walk in and out of their rooms at any time. That's one of the allegations against him. And allegations of holding them inappropriately. Indeed, a video has been brought out of him celebrating at full time. When the whistle went for full time against England, it was confirmed that they had won the World Cup, of him holding and hugging some of the female staff of the Spanish national team on the bench. And he appears to grope and hold the breast of one of them. It's like a 3-second video, but it's out and it's out there and has been leveled against the coach as well. And Rubiales has been accused of not doing anything about this man who they've wanted to sack for a long time. And so his response to all that, if you just joined us on Game Plan, is what we played as well.
Para que pidan mi dimisión.
Is that so serious that I have to leave while having done the best job for Spanish football? Do you really believe that I have to resign? Well, I'm going to tell you something.
No voy a dimitir.
I will not resign.
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 Right, so that is Mr. Luis Rubiales. Let me welcome the guys. Sitso. Danny Koranteng. Muftawu, Nabila.
The slip of lips.
Charlie, but look, it's a big issue.
Yeah.
And this audio I got was from BBC Breaking.
They are Congress.
Yeah, the Congress.
And Congress is made of, if you like, the Spanish football people.
Mm-hmm.
The high decision making of at the Spanish football level.
Yeah.
Few journalists. And there were applause after he said he will not
I mean,
resign.
play the tape so people hear.
I just want to draw their attention. I want to create a concept. Like I want to, paint the picture.
Yes.
So it's not like he's standing in his hometown or in his family house and his family people are backing him, or his hometown people are backing him. He's at Congress, where the highest decision-making people of Spanish football are gathered. And that is where he spoke and said he wasn't going to resign. And that is where the applause was coming from. Like when GFA President Mr. Katakraku said he would share balls and
they were clapping. It was football people
It was
who were
football
clapping.
people.
Not us, outside.
we were there.
Uh-huh.
So, it to tell us something. That his insistence on not resigning has backing.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he said that, if all of them in there wanted him out, you'd have heard them booing or something. But to applaud, they listened to him when he was speaking. And as soon as he said, I will not resign.
Said about 4 times.
I will not resign. Yeah. I will not resign. By the very people who constitutionally can remove him from that seat. So he has the backing from them. I absolutely love the way you broke it down, because his biggest problem has not been how he's handled the Spanish Football Federation.
No.
It's been coming from predominantly what the Spanish women team has said. And let's be fair, the way the Spanish women's league is run is very much like amateurish.
Yeah.
It is not at the level of
Pro.
Germany, England as it is now, or in France. It's not been the best. The gulf in class between the male and the female, it's so wide. In other countries, it's a lot better. So there's that criticism coming through, and he's always been of the view that even the guys who attract a lot of eyeballs are struggling. The likes of Valencia, Villarreal, Betis, apart from Barca, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. All these other people, even in La Liga, are struggling. Segunda are struggling. So it's going to take time. But it looks like people are comparing what is happening in other countries to what is happening in Spain. Then, crucially, the national team. And as you said, up to about 12-15 players came out with a joint statement, some individually, to say that they didn't want to work with Hoye because he was, he didn't show them the respect as women as it should be. As he said, he's the coach. He feels like he can wake up at 2 a.m. and decide that he has a new tactic he wants to come and share with you.
Yeah.
You know, be now they come knock. Like, he's the coach. He feels like he has to have control over the team's camping. So when you are in your room and you're a defender and he's thinking about England and he sees that, okay, you're a striker, you're a winger, Alex Greenwood is playing the 3-back with Bright and Co. So I need you to make this run. He can walk to your room and tell you that, Charlie, you are asleep, I wake up. Let me show you this. It came out as inappropriate when the players mentioned that.
Yeah.
Because what would, in the general concept, what would a man want in a woman's room
That late
at 2 a.m.?
At those unholy hours.
You get it. So there is sleeping. They should be sleeping.
Yeah.
So there is that. But if it was the men's team, if it was Pedri and Gavi and Co, and the coach says,
or if it's Pep Guardiola who did it, we'll be applauding him for being a
the
genius.
guys,
He's passionate. He's
They
passionate.
will tell you that
Iniesta
discipline.
Messi said they were sleeping, and then Pep will call them at 2 a.m. that wake up. The El Clasico game.
The three in the back.
Yeah.
The three back.
Three back.
That is when Pep he first brought the idea for the false nine. Actually,
Thank you.
So for listeners, when Messi started playing the false nine, that's the genesis.
Yes.
Pep woke up literally one dawn.
Yes.
At 2 a.m. and said he had a flash of whatever. A eureka moment.
Like Ted Lasso went to Amsterdam and started football.
Yeah. So that's the genesis of the false nine. He called Messi at that time and explained to him that I want you to play in the Clasico.
Perfecto.
Yeah,
so there is so as a coach, you want some level of and the women's game is developing at the highest level. Every little detail counts. Coaches want lone moments with their players.
Yeah.
But you see, when you're a coach in the women's game and you're a male, and you catch one girl in corner here somewhere that you are coaching here, it can send a wrong signal.
Yeah.
So there has to be that fine line. But he also wants results. If Pep Guardiola grabs Vardio, enters a small office, all the players will pass. They won't even think. They won't even. They will pass. They will pass and go and continue. But if Jorge holds one girl's hand, enters one corner, it paints a different picture. And I want people to think, look at the context. Now, this is the point. They go to the World Cup without some very key players who said they won't play if he's the coach.
Yeah.
And Rubiales backed the coach.
Yeah.
That you can say all you are saying, but he doesn't see anything wrong with what the coach has done. He only wants the best for the team. What is the best for the team? To win. What have they just done? They've won.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody can sit anywhere. That's what Rubiales says. After what he's achieved, do they think he should resign? Now, to his conduct on the day, you see, he overstepped it.
Absolutely.
He overstepped it.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter how close you, unless it be your girl where we know.
Yeah.
Or unless it be your girl where you put to do your things, you don't want to make we know. Where that one today.
That one today.
But ethically,
you know if you do
you know if you do so.
Abab.
Like even the coach, you know if you run your player.
Wrong.
Yeah.
If you start running your player, you have to leave the club, or the player has to.
Conflict of interest.
It did. So he overstepped. You cannot kiss the young girl on the lip and think it's just okay. It is not just okay. It's inappropriate at that level. But it becomes, you see, these days, people's personal lives are no more personal to them. It's become a global life. It becomes, in my opinion, the girl's position against every other person's position. If I win an award and I'm going to take the award, and the person presenting the award jumps and kisses me on the lip, and that person has been my crush for 10 years, and you sit at home and tell me that it's inappropriate, I might have a problem because I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't care. I might have enjoyed it.
Sure.
If the girl comes out to say, as he said, that, oh, she didn't enjoy it, and later his PR to say, it's not a big deal, it was out of an excitement. In my opinion, from their camp, if it's not criminal in any law or rule book, it ends there. But you see, this day, like I said, your own life is not your own life anymore. there are other bodies, associations, groups who take interest in this. So after the Hermoso's camp released that statement that, oh yeah, it wasn't the best scenario, it wasn't the best situation, but it's not a big deal, it came out of this. Other bodies jumped on the matter and said he had assaulted her
Without her consent.
And blah 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 and all of that. So that is where the matter is. For me, it has to come down to what the Hermoso thinks.
Yes. Yeah.
What Hermoso's camp think of the act. But they have to go into the Spanish rule book. Now FIFA wants to also sanction him.
Exactly.
Investigate.
They are investigating
In fact, even the Zambian coach is going through same.
Absolutely. So now it has to come down to what the rule about that act, that conduct says about men and women in the sport.
So basically, what Sitsofe is saying, I wanted us to tackle this because you see, it's part of a wider evolution of football in general.
Yes.
And it's interesting that it's happening the same 7 days as Mason Greenwood, because the same Mason Greenwood matter. If he be Ghana, like he died.
He died because the girl in question, he didn't go born after the event.
You see, if he be Ghana, if Mason Greenwood were Ghana, it would have died.
Yes.
But I like the last part of what you say, that you see, basically these things, they are out of Jenny Hermoso's hands now. Even if she had said that I enjoyed it,
Forget it.
they call something virtue signaling.
Yes.
You see, the virtue signaling, the symbolism,
Yes.
what it means in the wider context of football, of society,
Yes.
of affirmative action, of the Me Too movement. It's Charlie. The things are not things
So
again.
at this point,
Yeah.
at this point, generally,
Yeah.
we are looking at what the wider community thinks of that act.
Exactly.
Because football is such a huge space.
Yes.
That's
But let's not
millions of
also
people are
forget,
watching.
he did this before the world cameras.
Yeah. On the biggest stage.
On the biggest
you see,
stage.
I know what you're going to say.
So-
and that's why the Minister of Culture said, Rubiales has done in public, finally, what he always does in private that we can't say.
But that's just an assumption. The Minister of Culture is just assuming that he does it in private.
No, but to be fair, again, and I want to be as balanced as possible. This is not the first time such allegations have come, not openly
Gary,
like this,
Gary,
but in forms
in the
of
game of football.
Yes,
If you are in a position of power,
yes,
a plethora of allegations are always thrown about you. If there are people within the community who have different opinion about how you lead the football federation. So, for instance, many people actually believe that they wanted the coach gone.
yes.
Rubiales decides that I want to back this coach. He's backed him. He's giving him a 4-year contract extension. He's going to win the World Cup for him. The first ever in the history of the country. The football community is excited that they finally won the FIFA World Cup.
After dominating at the
He's
youth
speaking
level,
and they are clapping for him.
Yeah.
The very people who decide that we want this man to lead our football, and the world thinks that he should leave. Gary, I hold a different opinion entirely about this. Football is really funny.
You see, and before you go on,
When you score a goal,
there is hold on. Before you go on, listeners, I want us to bring this home for 1 second before Muftawu continues. This is exactly what plays out even in the Ghanaian context.
Yeah.
exactly that.
And Sitsofe says this, in fact, all the time. It's Sitsofe who says this all the time. The people where they vote give Ketokreku and Kwesi Nyantechi and Sins. It not be me and you with they outside though.
Sure, they are.
Like their KPIs are different from what you
What you and I think.
listening on radio, in your car, in your hospital.
You don't have a vote.
Yeah. The people who vote for Gianni Infantino every 4 years or whatever, the things they are looking for, it's not the thing. But you see, football has become so big, so powerful, so rich.
All of us feel we have a say.
We all have a
But
stake.
truly, we don't.
Exactly. So, Muftawu, continue.
Okay, you see, football is a very interesting sport. The response you get is out of the moment. When you score a goal, that response to that goal is uncontrollable.
The celebration.
The celebration.
The celebration that they say the Premier League want to stop people from celebrating.
That's the point.
to save time.
You shouldn't get angry. You shouldn't do. It's an emotional sport. In as much as Rubiales could have celebrated with this girl in a different mood, but at that moment,
in a more decorous way.
That's the word. At that moment, that was what just came to the mind.
No, but me too. I have a problem, and I want to be
He
consistent
could have
because
kissed the girl on the forehead.
I've said, and that would not have been
Plenty places.
that would not have been a problem because at least we know in the Spanish context, in the Iberian context, Spain, Portugal, pecs be sweet. I mean, they'll give
It's a great.
me the first time.
kiss your face or you
Bro,
go
the
shop.
first time I'll go France. Because we went to some meeting, we met. Hey, Gary, and he kissed one. So me after the first peck, me I was pulling my face.
It dragged you back.
It dragged me back and give me I said, what's going on over here? So as pegs there, I think that it would have been culturally acceptable.
But he was giving everybody pets.
He was giving everybody.
They didn't talk about
Yeah.
it. It's normal.
But the girl, maybe because she was the outstanding footballer, he thought that
some way.
that was what he's supposed to do. But there's also the other angle from what we witnessed within the football family. You see, these very people will cheer you up and send text to journalists. And we have it in this very
Of
country.
course.
Yeah.
No, but it's everywhere.
And send
It's
text to
everywhere.
journalists. Push him.
Yeah.
Talk about him. Let him resign.
Yeah.
There are people
Because
who do
because
it.
they all have interest.
Because they all have interest.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get the WhatsApp lines open. I'm sure there are comments already on what you genuinely think of this one. Lots of people's initial reaction was that it was being overblown. However, when you hear the context of why, this has become a big deal, then people tend to now have a bit of, hey, the comments.
Charlie Gary, you have to apologize to the listeners.
Why?
And the comments are already flooding. So
Charlie. Listeners, I thought you were waiting for me to tell you the number. But it be like the number you save already.
I have to apologize.
Okay. So
they mentioned that he came in for somewhere.
Danny, but Danny has not even spoken.
No.
Yeah, I know what it is. 055-1111-997. 055-1111-997. Show brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, and also Betway, Bet Your Way. Esianyo from the University of Ghana says, Danny K almost deceived me while presenting a media news. He stated that game plan would air live at 2:15. I understand the frustration of United fans.
I'm sorry.
Charlie, just say United frustration in Kwana. You they take work everywhere. Anyway, let's look at this one. This comment is from you didn't send your name.
No, that's his name. Bedroom Pep Guardiola. That's his name.
Oh, your name is Bedroom Pep Guardiola. Yeah,
Yes.
he sent a message last
yeah,
week.
he coaches from the bedroom.
From the bedroom. From La Paz. He says, today you guys really forced. You've started with the foreign sports. Always start with it. Don't waste your time in the local news because they aren't serious. Oh, Charlie. Some way. Anyway, this one is from Manuel Amaru Addis. And he says, I heard a soundbite on the media news of the deputy sports minister saying he went to the games to lend government support to the athletes. But how many athletes is Ghana sent to the games that he has to use the taxpayers' money to travel there? Can't he use Zoom or some other digital means to give them pep talk in the face of lack of funds for their injury treatment and support in general? Ghana and our sport issues, they won't go away. Manuel Amaru Addis from Medina. Okay. So please keep your comments coming. 055-1111-997. 055-1111-997. We've started with Rubiales and what's happening there as well. Should we do athletics or Kudus? Kudus is the one trending.
Yeah, here we go.
No, since the first one was about football, let's just
Continue on there.
with
Here we
football,
go.
then-
It's been confirmed a
then
couple of minutes ago that
He's a West Ham
he's a
player.
hammer.
He's a hammer.
Yeah, Mo the Hammer.
Mo the hammer.
he's going to the London Stadium.
Yeah.
Finally.
Okay, his side is already the hammer, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
Kudus, like all players,
Uh-huh.
when they sign for new clubs, say that I've been a West Ham fan since I was 2 years.
We have the evidence.
We have evidence.
We have evidence.
He's been hammering
His whole life.
His whole life. So if Kudus says that he's been a hammer all his life, nobody.
This
we,
one-
won't, we won't allow anybody.
This one, he enough for explain tire. You get evidence.
You get evidence.
You get evidence.
Anyway, so guys, so before this show, Danny, we were going to talk about whether West Ham, in the face of Saudi coming in yesterday, was still the best deal for him. So, Danny, thoughts on now we can finally say he rejected Brighton and chose West Ham?
He's in the Premier League.
One.
That is a huge upgrade. The best thing you can do for yourself as a footballer is to come to the Premier League. I said it about 3 or 4 years ago when Partey was in Atletico Madrid, and we all see the fruits today of what the Premier League has done for Partey, the brand Partey and the player Partey also. So for Kudus, and I think this deal for Kudus from the commercial side is massive.
Yeah.
Because he already has a very huge following here. He's loved. People like Kudus the person. People like Kudus the player. When you come into the Premier League and now people have the opportunity to see you week in, week out, competing against the best, it's always very good. So for me, it's excellent. And the club he's also coming to, I call it a stepping stone club. He's not going to be at West Ham his whole life. But this is the club where he can come to without a lot of pressure, have the ability to make the mistakes that he will make, have the ability to learn and grow. And in the next 2-3 seasons, one of the bigger teams will come for him. So I'm happy on that regard. But when I look at West Ham's style of play, that's why I think it worries me a bit. Because for a player like Kudus, if you put Brighton and you put West Ham on the table for me, footballing wise, I'll go for Brighton. I don't know what influenced his decision to move to West Ham ahead of Brighton, but I'm sure he has a group of people who make the right decision. So I'm sure for when you consider everything, he made the right decision. But let's talk about the football itself, and that's where it worries me. Kudus has been in his professional career, Norgeland and Ajax. These are two teams that dominate possession, are free-flowing, they create a lot of chances. So it has helped his footballing abilities. But when you come to West Ham United, you look at a team that is almost always on the back foot. They like to play on the back foot. 42% average possession last season. This season they've hit but you can't use two games.
2 games.
Season. So 42% average possession last season. It means they don't control possession. They hardly have the ball. They are playing on the back foot. What it means for attacking players who play for those teams is when you have the ball, your decision making becomes very important. What you do with the ball becomes very important because West Ham is a counter-attacking team. So, typical example, if you have the guy who plays on their right-hand side in Jared Bowen, compare him to the guy who plays on the left-hand side in Benrahma. Benrahma is very frustrating because the limited opportunities that West Ham have, he has the tendency of being erratic. You don't know what he's going to do with the ball. But Jared Bowen is much more precise. When he picks up the ball, you know that either a dangerous chance or goal or assist is coming. So that is the sort of player that Kudus must mold himself to be and try and mold his entire football makeup to be like. That when he picks up the ball, we know that it's action. Another thing that we also need to consider is where is he going to play at West Ham? Because it doesn't look like Paqueta is leaving. Yes, he's under investigation, but it's very clear from West Ham's point of view that until the Premier League says something, the guy is going to continue to play because he's played the first 2 games of the season. So Paqueta is very much still in their plans. They've brought in Ward-Prowse to replace Susek is already in there. I don't think Kudus is going to play any of the deep roles in Ward-Prowse or Susek. So then the competition becomes Paqueta or maybe playing in place of Benrahma on the other side. So let me start from that side. If Kudus is going to replace Benrahma on the left wing, it's a role we've not necessarily seen him play before. He's the left-footed player who cuts in.
Yes.
But the reason why I'm saying I can bank everything that he's not going to displace Jared Bowen.
Bowen is their man.
He's the star player. So if you are going to accommodate the two, then it means that Benrahma will have to sacrifice from how I'm thinking. And it's going to be very different for Kudus because a left-footed player coming in, it's a whole different skill on its own. But it's not something I'll put
Past him. Yeah.
Because we've seen him excel in last season. They threw him into a false nine, and they started from preseason. Straight from preseason, he hit the ground running. He was banging in goals. Season started, they were not playing him. They threw him to false nine. He starts banging in goals. Even with the Black Stars, you see him play a number of different positions, and he excels. So I just feel like with time, and I mentioned it earlier, going to West Ham will help him. If he had gone to a Chelsea or gone to an Arsenal where they threw him out of position and he had to adjust, nobody has his time.
Yeah.
So that would have been difficult for him. But with West Ham, you can go under the radar for 3-4 games, use it to balance yourself. And then when you score some wild goal, people will talk about you like you are the best player in the world.
Yeah.
That is what a team like West Ham gives you. So it's perfect. If he's going to play in that Paqueta role, also, I feel like the way West Ham plays, it could suit him. Could, because it's like a supporting striker role, not necessarily a number 10. What Paqueta does is like a creative number 10. But I don't think, Charlie, with the data that is flying around the world right now, I don't think that West Ham have dished out 45 million euros and will make the same mistake they made with Skamaka on Kudus.
Because
So
a
I
lot of
think-
Ghanaians have feared that
Yeah.
he's going to be another Skamaka.
So I think they've done their homework, and I feel like if he's going to play in that space behind the main striker, then I'll be very sure that he'll be sort of like a second striker where his goal scoring prowess can come to bear. But just a number of Charlie. I was looking at Paqueta's numbers in that row. I compared it to Benrahma. I compared it to Jared Bowen, but mostly Paqueta, because I feel like that's the area that West Ham would like to play Mohamed Kudus in. And all the greens per the numbers, be it defensive, all the greens were from the defensive side.
For Lucas Paqueta.
For Lucas Paqueta.
Yeah.
Because West Ham is on the back foot. They are doing a lot of defending.
Yeah.
So the small time that they have on the ball, again, and it goes back to the earlier point I was making, the small time they have on the ball, he's supposed to make that decision that will define the game.
Yeah.
That's the pressure when it comes to that role. So for me, I hope that if Kudus is going to play in that Paqueta space, he's not given that role where he will have to make that final pass to decide the game. I feel he'll have a bit more freedom playing on the Benrahma side. And again, as I said, I don't put it past him to be able to adjust. So with 2-3, and if you remember, I think West Ham have been trying to get somebody in that role. If you remember, last season they brought in Cornet.
Yeah.
Played him in the first few games, didn't work out, and Benrahma comes. I don't think Benrahma is
solid like that.
Is solid like that. I don't
Yeah.
think he has the trust of David Moyes.
David
I think
Moyes,
it's because of a lack of options.
Yeah.
So if Kudus comes in and they can get him closer to goal on that side, of course, he will have to work a bit of on his defending off the ball. But that is something that he can do. And it is easier to defend off the ball when you are playing on the back foot. So for me, I think it will work. Although I would have preferred Brighton, I think it will work.
Sitso, you and I'll come to you, Muftawu, as well. You have the first time this West Ham thing became a thing.
Yeah.
You were adamant that he would succeed there.
Well, I mean, again,
and you explained why. You
Yeah.
explained why from a football point of view.
Yeah.
There are positions where he can thrive.
Yeah, and that is if he's given the opportunity to play in those positions. And I've always said Kudus is, it's not necessarily a central midfielder person, not a number 8, if like not even a number 10. But in the modern day, but it could be as well a perfect number 10 for West Ham because of the way they play. Kudus is not your best passer of the ball, right? He doesn't see the opening early. He doesn't pick the pass on time. But there's something about his game which is special. He will be about, if you like, the best ball carrier in that West Ham team.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for a team that likes to counter, you absolutely need somebody who can drive your team forward some extra 20 to 30 yards. If he goes to Brighton, he unlocks other potentials, but he doesn't necessarily use his ball carrying ability because he will have so many options to pass the ball to. Paqueta is a very good holder of the ball. He can pick that pass, run off the person, take another pass, But what Kudus has is that when the team sits deep in West Ham's context and he picks up the ball, and we saw it against Portugal in that game where Ghana was sitting very deep. The only player who could take Ghana some 20, 30 yards further up the pitch was Kudus. Yeah. Because he's so strong on the ball and he's got a dribbling ability. So he just whips past people and he's going. Good thing about him as well, he's got a very fine shot about him. And I've always said the top 10 footballers in the world who have got the cleanest of strikes I add Mohamed Kudus to that list. When he hits the ball, it's the way the ball moves through the air. It's not that simple.
Yeah.
I would like to have the chat with him as to how he applies his technique when he's striking the ball. It's very beautiful. So I think that is where
It's a clean hit.
it's got a sweet hit when he hits the ball.
It's called If You Like Catch.
So I think that is where Kudus fits. He only then has to now polish his decision making, because Kudus can easily be a Bellingham of Real Madrid.
Yeah.
The difference between Kudus and Bellingham is he knows when to pass, and his range of passing is far better than Kudus
For the moment.
But for the moment, and the scary thing is, well, Kudus is older than Bellingham, but Kudus is still young, so he can develop, right?
Yeah.
Now, Kudus has got a very good dribble about him. And as you said, he's got a very good ball carrying about him, a very good shot about him. So he could very much still do the work in the middle of the park. The question now is, who vacates any space for him to play? Shushek is their only defensive midfielder in the starting 11. Ward-Prowse is their number 8. And for West Ham, this season, set pieces will be so crucial to getting goals for them, because they've got the very best whipper of the ball in the league, Ward-Prowse. And they've got some very big men in the team.
Against Chelsea.
Against Chelsea, they've got Zuma, they've got Ogad, they've got Kufar, they've got Suchek, Mikel Antonio. And these are big lads. Like, when you throw them in, they'll thrive. And the reason why Declan Rice was successful with West Ham was because of the fact that they will sit deep and he could carry the ball and drive.
Yeah.
And everybody will look at Declan Rice and say, Charlie, the guy's ball carrying ability is superb. Kudus can do that far better than Rice. So if David Moyes, not to say he can play in the Rice position,
Sure.
that carrying ability. So if David Moyes is going to use him as that, there is that. But let's not forget, West Ham are also in Europe. So they need bodies.
So I was going to come. I was waiting for when you guys will talk about.
Yeah, West Ham
That
are
is
in Europe.
Game time, and they need somebody who has been in Europe and can and can do that.
Yeah, and injuries.
This man showed them yesterday that the Europe. When we are playing Europe,
What a send off!
You give me
What a goodbye.
like
Now,
give me the Europe.
here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Yesterday's game is the reason why I've always said Kudus in and around the box in any attacking position, predominantly the false 9 or on the right, is a killer.
Yeah.
The problem I have with Kudus is when he's too far away from targets, he tends to touch the ball too many times and miss the crucial moments. But
And
when
in fact, he gets frustrated.
and when he's in and around the box, I think Kudus's game is not settled yet. He's an instinctive player. So when he's in and around the box, he acts on instincts. As soon as the ball sets, he hits it.
Yeah.
As soon as the ball drops. So Kudus doesn't dribble 3 plays before he scores. He shifts the ball once and he scores, or he latches onto the ball and he scores. Very rarely will you see Kudus taking on several players to score. It's that one touch sets himself scores. One touch movement scores. And that is why I think they get the best out of him. But I think West Ham won't splash that amount of money without a plan. But we've also seen good signings go there and flop. Sebastian Heller, Gianlucas Kamalka. But hopefully, Kudus the Hammer is not on that list.
There's a question from you from Abna in OEB. Muftawu, I'll ask you this one. Good afternoon, Gary and co. Why did Kudus leave or have to leave Ajax? Why is it necessary?
Well, that's quite an interesting question.
I'm not from OEB with this one.
I do not think Kudus's decision to leave Ajax actually has to do with wanting a bigger platform. Because having had conversations with people who are very close to the boy, and having been privileged to engage people who are very close to him, one of the things that many people have said is actually the fact that he felt his initial environment at Ajax was not too pleasurable. I don't know if that word is appropriate, because he felt that, especially last season, when the season started and it had to take pressure from people for him to start playing, he felt he didn't get the right support that he needed, and that was critical in his decision to leave Ajax Amsterdam. For footballing wise, or people will tell you that when it comes to the footballing side of things, Ajax would have been the perfect environment for him to grow. And like you've heard many people say in the last couple of weeks, when media reports began that he wanted a move away from the Johan Cruyff Arena, one of the things people said was that if he stays for another season, you will have the big clubs coming in for him. But if last season gave him an idea that it was going to be pretty tough from the beginning, there's no certainty that if the opportunity presents itself for him to move and he doesn't take it, there's no certainty that the club would appreciate him like he feels if if the conversations I've had with people is anything to go by. And one thing, it would interest you to know that those who are also around him are looking at the money. the clubs he's gone through, and this is quite interesting because I was actually made to understand that the money that is likely to come to Norgeland, to Right to Dream, is quite good.
Substantial, up to 5 million euros.
It's more than that, actually. Actually, more than that. They are looking at 7 to 10 million euros. It's more than that. So they are also looking at what do we get
from his move.
Very necessary.
Yeah, it's very necessary.
And his wages is going to be. Kudus' wages is going to go up. Very
they are going to shoot up. In fact, from Nima to London.
London is a good pool, man. Charlie, forget about London, baby.
From Nima to London. So I actually think that like Daniel and Sitsofe has spoken about the footballing angle. I am going to come from the monetary angle. And I think that it's a very good decision for him to take. Charlie, it doesn't come early than this. When the opportunity presents itself for you to go for the check, embrace it. There's no guarantee that within the next 3-4 years that Kudus stays fit, his price tag will shoot up as people think it would. So when the opportunity is available for you now to get a check, sign a 5-year contract with someone and get your money, why not take it? So for me, I am in for it, and I just hopes that when he gets there, he's able to deliver the goods for West Ham United and have his career going. So at my end, it's a very good decision that he has taken.
Well, it's here we go from my three guys. All of us seem to agree that, I mean, I gave my view, on the Brighton. And then when the West Ham came, I said it's in the same sort of area. And it can do, there's European football. And for me, look, I like the move. But let me ask something before I forget. Yes.
Right.
A group of Ghanaians believe that this move is not good. Not that Kudus is not good for West Ham.
But West Ham is not good for
But
Kudus.
West Ham is too small for Kudus.
Too small.
Yes, they believe that his talents deserve a team bigger than West Ham.
And
that is where I want to, you see, because West Ham has not won Premier League and West Ham is not a small team.
No, but Gary, Ghanaians should relax a little. Because, you see,
because Kudus is good, but he no catch like that.
Thank you. Kudus is a guy. And we wish him all the best. He's brilliant. But there's a reason why.
He no catch like
every
that.
top team in Europe wanted a player like Bellingham.
Yes.
And every top team in Europe would have wanted some player, Declan Rice, Caicedo. But not every top team in Europe was circling around Mohamed Kudus. There's a reason why. And it's not about talent.
Go on.
It's also about how reliable he can be.
Yeah.
When you check his injury record with Ajax, it's not been great.
Yeah.
Even last season, that was his best season.
First.
He missed a lot of games at some point because of injury.
Yeah.
So all of this, so a lot of teams will be like, all right, okay, we are monitoring him. We keep an eye. He's still young. We'll see maybe next 2 years. But what's the next move? Listen, the Premier. We know West Ham is not going to win him all the titles, but if you play in the Eredivisie, in a Ajax team that is losing every quality player, what does he achieve there?
Yeah.
It is better to go to West Ham or the Premier League. And listen, West Ham is not a joke of a club. West Ham is a big club.
Yeah.
It's like
it's the team of Bobby
think-
Moore.
I actually
West
think
Ham-
where Sitsofe is coming from is about losing the quality play. Let's look at that last 3-4 seasons when Ajax made it to the semi-final of the UEFA Champions.
yeah.
All of them.
all of them are
All
gone.
the boys are
10,
gone.
11,
Their,
yeah.
their captain, Tadic,
Yeah.
cancelled his contract because he said there wasn't enough quality in the team for him to play with this season.
Yes.
So he terminated his contract
He's gone to Turkey.
and he's gone to Turkey. So
Charlie.
Kuno's going to West Ham. Listen, he will play against better players week in, week out. He will test himself the more.
You know what Kudus said in the interview yesterday that caught my attention.
Yeah.
It caught my attention because he said something similar when I spoke to him last year. It is not what he said. It is the context in which he says it. He says, I've been here. I'm about to start my 4th season.
Yeah.
That's a loaded statement.
Yeah.
If you are at Real Madrid for 3 seasons and you are starting your 4th, is it a problem?
No.
Bayern Munich, is it a problem?
No.
Man United, is it a
You're
problem?
the Ajax.
You understand?
He needs to move.
He has to
Time no
move.
day.
There might be 23 years,
Yeah.
like 23. Maybe, maybe some baby, but that's okay. But the point is, West Ham is not a bad. I personally would have preferred the Brighton, but I can see what West Ham can make
Is
out
it
of
a
him.
step up, Muftawu? Yes or no?
No.
The three of you.
It's-
Is it a step up from Ajax?
it's-
Now.
Yes, I think it's a step
Is
up.
it, Danny?
Yes.
It's a step up.
Massive.
Massive step up.
I don't know why there's a question about that.
Okay.
Big step
Because
up.
see, there are a lot of Ghanaians who feel like West Ham. Oh yeah, but like if for wait, what do you say to those who feel?
Guy, look.
Yeah, and I'm asking you that question.
If you are
those who are saying that you should have waited one season for some other big team.
There's no guarantee.
It's not even the guarantee. The big team, you see, you the signs are there. And Sitsofe said it. The signs are there. When he wanted to leave at the beginning of last season, it was Southampton and Everton who came.
Yeah.
This season, and you see, that's why I don't like this misreporting things. When read the story that Daniel Osteen came up with, David Osteen, he said interested. He never said Chelsea had bid.
Yeah.
Interested. The list is long, like 50 players, and his name is Pat.
Olise and co.
Olise, there are plenty, but they never really made that move.
Yeah.
So that should tell you something. It is Brighton who were very
interested in making move.
Brighton were very keen. West Ham were very keen. Aston Villa at the beginning were very keen. So, and if you look at the scouting for the top teams, unless you are a supreme, top talented, bang on when you are coming to hit the ground running.
Or your
type
coach
of
is
player,
biased.
Or your coach is biased. They don't. I know how he's going to do this. They will not take the risk on you. Premier League teams and the top teams in the world these days, they prefer, and especially the top teams, when you come and you excel in the Premier League. So look at Brighton. Look at the West Hams with Declan Rice.
Yeah.
It is better for you to go there and do well than even be at Ajax and be doing well. Because they look at the competition in the Premier League and what is offering. So if this guy is doing well in West Ham, man, you can go and pay 70 million for him. These people, Chelsea can go and pay 100 million for him. But if you stay in Ajax and you are Ajax champion for a very long time, you may not attract that.
All his peers are leaving the
They are
club.
leaving.
That's the point.
You get
They're
it. So
even
look,
moving.
Premier League is Premier League. Boga, when Payet was in Marseille,
Yeah.
they were not choosing him for French national team.
He can't
After
West Ham.
6 months with West
He
Ham,
can't play some-
straight.
He got the Euros.
Straight.
Yeah.
He went to the Euros as a starter.
Yes.
And was again one of the best players of the French national team during the Euros
See, if
2016.
Gary for nothing at all, Kudus is going to wear a jersey that has our sponsors on it.
Quick.
Kudus the hammer is going to wear a Betway jersey.
That's all.
Proper
If for nothing at all, proper ambassador for Betway.
Ambassador for Betway.
Guy, do you know something?
Tell me.
When I looked at the Paqueta stats,
Yeah.
the player that they likened Paqueta to was Jordan Ayew.
Are you kidding
I'm
me?
telling you.
It's his work.
Per the job that they are doing.
Yeah.
Not the player, but
Yeah.
the job that they are
the
doing.
task. Yeah.
So, if you don't want this one is popular, this one. If you don't
It's
want
propaganda.
Kudus to play like the way Jordan
Ayew has
plays,
been playing.
I know you both don't like it. Me, I like it. But if you don't want that, then they are catching.
So the next question I have for you guys is, we have established that last season when there was interest, it came from Southampton and Everton. Not great considering they were all relegation.
Yeah.
This time it's come from West Ham and Brighton.
Yeah.
My question to you is, what does Kudus need to do in the next 2 years for Real Madrid? Because we know that today,
Yeah.
if you put Kudus in the Real Madrid team, he can play. You are talent-wise.
Yeah.
He can play, but he won't play.
I was coming to that.
Yeah.
He can play. Maybe you give him some half season, and
Yeah.
he's not Bellingham. He is as talented or probably more.
Yeah.
But Bellingham has some XXX that probably Kudus doesn't.
That's something that Kudus has to do.
So, what does Kudus have to do in the next 2 years? Give me a second, and I'll come back to you on that.
Right.
This is.
Free on the new season with Betway. Use the golden booking code found on the Betway site to bet on selected match weeks from 11th August to 3rd September and get 100% back as a free bet on any losses. You always get more with Betway. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Bet your way.
Game plan on Joy 99.7 FM 215 in our studios. Thank you for staying with us. We are streaming live on Twitter Spaces on Joy 997 FM and also Joy Sports. We are on Facebook at Joy Sports and Joy 997 FM. Gary L. Smith here together with Muftawu Nabila Abdullahi and also Danny Koranteng and also Philip Atsrim Sitsofe. We've been talking about Kudus on the back end of this one before we went for that commercial break, and then we did something on the top global trending story that's Luis Rubiales. We do some transfers and things as well, but we want to hear your thoughts on, Kudus, and we hear, what's his name? Joseph Pentil also. Last night was when I heard that Leeds United had joined the fray. Saudi wanted him.
Joseph
Pentil. Leeds United, yes.
Championship.
Yes.
Yeah. 10 million.
From Belgium Pro League to Championship.
You know, bad like that.
No, they go replace with Fernando.
It's a competition.
It's a competition. And Saudi wanted to give him 3 million euros a year, and he initially said no. He said he wants 4 million.
Make it back in.
By the way, we the Saudi clubs.
We get a
Saudi,
match.
I'll work that.
You see?
They are not in the PIF.
These Saudi clubs,
Yeah,
they are not in the PIF.
Guys,
So he'll get some play.
Oh yeah, he'll get some play.
Yeah, and he'll get to play
But
against
today's
Neymar and
this
Cristiano.
weekend we get match.
Who?
I'll not say the Alpha.
Who?
I'll not say the Alpha. we go away.
Gary,
Yeah,
Charlie,
the
everybody
Saudi
give
clubs,
them
Charlie, but they
it
come
is
back.
only 4 clubs that has got the money.
They come. Yeah, no, yeah.
It is only 4 clubs that has got the
no,
money.
no.
So when it comes to the other clubs,
No,
the adjoining clubs,
No,
Please.
no,
Wait,
they all have money.
The PIF.
please.
But there's extra money.
Gary,
There's extra money.
do you recall?
No.
2 years ago.
Muftawu, we won't take this.
You will accept.
No, listen. The
It's
PIF
not like
handle
this.
the 4 teams.
Yes.
Yes.
But the oil group, Aramco and Co, are handling the next 4 teams.
Yes.
Hold on.
So there's also money
Hold on.
there.
Hold on.
It is level.
Gary, do you
just-
recall the story I did about how the folk player went there and the Saudi people were struggling to pay?
I know what you mean. So there are
That
players
era is past.
recently.
No, we've restructured.
Yeah. So
Restructured.
some
We
of
have
them have
restructured.
some
Okay.
issues with payment, and it's not a lie.
It's in the past, bro.
It's not a lie. It's not a lie.
We have
But
restructured.
See, there was one story I was heavily involved in working on. The money never came.
Are you saying Ronaldo has not received his salary since?
no, you see, now you forget that in the PIF.
We've seen English teams also struggling to pay their teams.
That's what yes, Leicester. Amate at Leicester didn't receive salary for like 4 weeks. We know, but it wasn't public. Amate at Leicester, they couldn't pay. No, it's just true. You know that one. You won't say you're talking about Saudi. you know. Amate wasn't paid for like 4 weeks.
It's okay. It's okay.
If
Guys,
it wasn't
let's
for
move on.
Fana.
Let's talk athletics.
Yeah, we will. So let me get a few comments. Wills from Tema says, I love the job you're all doing. This show is very educative and interactive. Keep the work up, please. Tell Efosicho, Weleji.
Akpe.
What was that?
Weleji.
Weleji is what?
You did top.
You did form. Okay.
The,
So the player is not Weleji.
the former right to
Maxwell
do
Weleji.
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 Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We have been brutalizing it.
So yeah, down there.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon, Gary. I dey feel you rough. Please ask Daniel Koranteng if Wilfred Nonto is related to Shataband.
They are second cousins.
They are second cousins on their mother's side.
The mother's side.
This reminds me of something I saw. That the mother, the mother who murdered my mother, murdered her mother. So she's my nephew.
That's from Kelly Ozil. He says if Wilfred Nonto. So those who don't know Wilfred Nonto, why are they comparing to Shatabando?
He's short, he looks like Shatabando, and he runs like
Shatabando as well. Okay.
But Gary,
Yeah.
talking about resemblance,
Yeah.
you said Rubiales looks like somebody.
Hey! So guys, have you seen Rubiales before? So let me describe Rubiales. First of all, Rubiales looks like Pablo Zabaleta.
That's why.
First of all,
That's one
So please.
That's one candidate.
so if you don't know Rubiales, but at least you know football. So Pablo Zabaleta.
Just go online.
Who does Pablo Zabaleta look like in the adult entertainment industry?
Let me keep this house there.
Johnny Sins, yo. Johnny Sins, yo.
The guy behavior in the show for the place, no.
I said Rubiales, the way they behave, I said no, this guy be Johnny Sins in first cousin or in father side.
Johnny Sins can even be an FA president. And he can be anything.
There is hope for all of us. Look, so when I was cutting the audio, this very audio, Danny was by me, and I said, this guy, they get Johnny Sins, and Danny say, hey, no matter where he did my head is, why you talking like that? This is Game Plan on Joy 99.7 FM. More comments coming in. You can join us too. 055-111-1997. We are going to athletics shortly.
You didn't ask a question.
Which question was that?
What Kudus has to do in the next
Yeah. That one before we go to the athletics. So we're talking about Kudus. I mean, our guys here think it's a good move. It's a step up from West Ham. We've looked at the challenges in potentially him locking down a place. But we know that if there's something our boy has in spades, and we know the fear, it is character and ambition and work rate, and he would get what he wants or die trying. Now, what does he need to do to become? You know, I tweeted the Brighton thing in my write-up.
Your write-up.
I said, if he goes to Brighton or some other club like that, because right now he's 45, and we are seeing that he not even catch. In 2 seasons, he could easily become 80 to 100 million.
Quick.
I wrote that, right?
Quick.
What does he need to do, actually?
One, he has to stay fit, which hasn't been his best friend.
Charlie.
Fitness hasn't been his best friend. And that can be some way.
We forgo church for him.
Yeah, maybe
Forgo
to
Muftawu.
Dias.
I don't think it has to do with many Ghanaian players. Michael Essien at his peak was getting injured off.
I'll give you a theory that the agent who told me yesterday about what's his name, Joseph Pencil,
yeah.
and why he thinks Joseph Pencil should take the Saudi move now, rather than go to Leeds.
Yeah.
So you finish.
Yeah,
I'll
I think he has to stay fit.
And Muftawu's point is big.
Yeah,
about
fitness
the
hasn't been
players.
very kind to him. It must be said. Secondly, and this is my biggest fear for Kudus, we still don't know his best position.
Charlie be somewhere.
And he's not getting any younger.
Is it the fault of his talent? Is it God's fault?
It is. It be some way.
I think he's rather technical people around.
It's you see, Kudus is so talented that he can be everything he wants to be if guided.
Yeah.
So many coaches have tried to make him things they know he can be and try to guide him to be. But that is why we still don't know his best position. If he doesn't find his best spots now, he becomes a very good player who's not a master of any position.
Yeah.
And when teams want to buy a player, they're looking at, what do I need? Okay, I need a winger, maybe a right-sided winger. There is Kudus. There's another player who is a specialist.
Yes.
Like maybe a Jeremy Doku.
So being a specialist is what gives you that extra 20 to 30 million.
Yes, because they know that is their need.
Yeah.
It's like, when Caicedo, you want to buy a midfielder. You need a DM. Liverpool needs a DM. Chelsea needs a DM to unlock Enzo. So, Charlie, 150 million, quick.
Yeah.
But if Enzo can, Caicedo is not known to be a DM. Today it's a centre back, small. Then it's average there.
Yeah.
Average DM. Average right back. Nobody really, like, you can come in as a squad player, but that wouldn't command the value. And if you're not lucky, you're not going to the top team to go and start. So he has to define his role and master it, and not be jack of all trades. For some places it works, but at the elite level, they are rather looking for specialists who have a bit of value on the other things, but primarily on a one position.
Nice one.
I think
Danny,
it's up to decision making. If he can polish that side of his game, I think where football is going now, and that's why I'll tend to slightly disagree with Sichu. It is not a position that he needs to map out. If he's able to fix the decision making, then he has the raw footballing ability that everybody knows he has, and that ability to also think extra when he has the ball and make the right decision. That way, in the complex systems that we are seeing today, he can fit into different roles because he possesses the basic attributes that can perform to the optimum level at any of those roles. So I think it's the decision making that he needs to fix. For the number 9 false 9 position, what he is now is perfect for it. But as a winger, as a number 10 midfielder, attacking midfielder type of thing, he needs to fix that. And I feel that he will, because the pressure, as I said, the pressure at West Ham to get that decision right will force him to fix it.
And we know that he likes that.
Yeah.
Mutala Tanko Amani, our friend from across the street. Danny understands what I mean. Kudus should improve himself. Big team in England will come for him like Liverpool, Arsenal, even my team United. All of you there, do you have a bodyguard? Hey.
No, we are not Messi.
Hey. No, hold on.
See,
The two, I beg you. I beg you.
Types of football, guy, let us know.
We have everybody's football. We have Messi's football.
Because they say, Salim like Messi game in football.
Look,
I'm not
listeners. Look, we will go for. I plead for a commercial break for us to talk about this Messi matter. After this, we are even going to not a commercial break. Producer, not commercial break as in adverts.
See the way he's in a hurry.
We are coming to talk about Messi. Because we are going to athletics. See, the thing you people are doing is not nice. If it be Cristiano Ronaldo way, look, this matter we have to say.
Like this. But that video,
if it is Cristiano Ronaldo who has a bodyguard,
they'll say he's arrogant.
No. For listeners who have not seen it, this is the issue. There's a 2 minutes 19 seconds
accurate
video.
No, you be shocked.
There could have been more, but Twitter has a limit.
Of a compilation, a montage actually, of a bodyguard, a bulky guy who is at the touchline of all games Messi has been playing.
He also has the Zabaleta head.
Yes. In the MLS, in the US, whatever, the League's Cup and stuff, and he's guarding Leo Messi. Now, this is the interesting thing. This is the punchline. He can walk into games when the games are in session.
Yes.
Basically, at any point he thinks Messi's life is under threat.
Yes.
Look, in the world of football, I mean, you guys are Muftawu, you've covered football. You don't do this.
That's what I'm saying. That
in fact,
the football,
the first time I saw it, I was like, is this guy a coach?
Yeah. And he can literally walk into the pitch.
That's what I've said. If the football, we have two types. If we have two types, they should let us know.
So that we understand.
So that everybody will go to bed. There's Messi football and there's proper football.
If this thing was about Ronaldo, and I know this thing, you see, the comments are coming in.
No, but
look, I know this thing. If it was about Cristiano,
it would have been. No, but Ronaldo has 2 bodyguards.
Yeah, but how they don't come inside pitches?
Thank you. Because if the inner perimeter, you see, that's why, and it's so bad on the MLS,
on the US, yeah.
If the inner perimeter, you are saying that it is not safe for Messi, so you are crediting his bodyguard to be in the inner perimeter. It means that the league is beans.
It's beans.
Seriously.
So what it means is that Jordi Alba's life doesn't matter. Sergio Busquets' life doesn't matter. Okay. So you are saying that
Hassan life doesn't matter.
So
Jonathan Mensah.
So you are saying that in this world 2023,
yes,
women's lives matter.
Yes.
Black lives matter.
Yes.
LGBT lives matter.
Yes.
But Messi, the
MLS
lives don't matter apart from
Messi.
No, we don't understand.
No. But you see, on a more
serious note,
it's improper.
It's not a good look.
It is improper.
How can you do that?
It's not.
I know people have said that. Oh yeah, it's because the gun laws in the US are somewhere and anybody can pick a gun.
He's not the only person who can be shot. Why? Is he the only person who has blood in his system? So every player should bring a bodyguard. Is he more important to his family than Busquets to his family?
Or his teammate? What's his name? Taylor Odds.
The
Taylor guy.
Yes.
The Campagna guy.
Campagna guy.
Who is Campagna? See some beans players that are playing over there. Who is Campagna?
Charlie, because
you see, as we've mentioned this thing,
he doesn't have a bodyguard.
So let's read the comments. Sakatu from Luton says, Gary, but who says Cristiano doesn't have a bodyguard with him when he's playing?
No.
Or because the camera hasn't captured him? Sakatu, what we are saying is that
captured him for you to see.
He has not come into the inner perimeter. We all saw the video. Let's listen to his comment. He says Messi is the GOAT and his life is dear to our hearts and needs to be protected 1000%. Maybe this one they bomb me passing it. The video is on the stream. So those of you watching on the stream, watch.
Ronaldo has bodyguards, but when he's coming out of the team bus, with his teammates at Saudi, the bodyguard doesn't come and stand by
the car and follow him like that.
No,
Gary, even me, I have bodyguards. We don't get to the front here. They allow me. No, multimedia security is competent.
I tell you,
and they'll take care of me.
Top 10 in the
when I
world.
leave, no quick. They are there. They open the door for me, and I'll go. How can you be doing this? MLS.
The league that is more where is the artwork that I put on the page about the value, the most valuable leagues in the world? MLS.
I see it from
but it means
I'm thinking that
to.
If take a look at football in general,
Yeah.
coaches are really
Exactly, and they are enforcing it more.
and they are enforcing it. How come you watch them?
That's a free range.
How come you can move wherever Messi is? Just closer to Messi. But if you're trying to say that if
You go and beat him. You go and beat him.
Go and beat him. That's what you do.
And we understand the guys have ex-US Navy SEAL.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, martial arts experience.
Martial arts, kickboxing,
Yes.
karate,
Yes.
That's
Boom.
what
jiu-jitsu and things.
have to do something.
Nah.
they are not going to do
It's
anything.
not
No.
Because you are hosting the next World Cup.
Yeah.
And the one thing that can sell how ready are safety, security, everything is your league and your competitions in the country. If you are inviting the bodyguard onto the pitch and people say it's for safety reasons, they are telling you 2 years from now, all of us should be concerned. Kudus has to come with a bodyguard. Get
Get a bodyguard for Jordan Ayew because he's the most valuable player in the Black Stars.
Keto Krego already has a bodyguard. So now, it means that you have to guard Keto wherever he goes.
Yes!
Charlie.
You have to protect our
Anyway, look, Samson Kwame from Adidome says, guys, I dey feel your vibes. Wow, you guys are invited to my birthday party this week.
Wait.
I beg, drop location.
Drop location, Boga.
Drop location.
No, he says Samson from Adidome.
Adidome.
So it means that it is there.
Hey, so he should. Adidome is big.
It's
No,
big.
drop
He should bring
location.
drop
Drop
location.
location.
Maybe he-
I beg, Adidome is not like 3.5 hours. We'll drive quick.
So quick.
Drive and go and come. This is
know
quick,
you
bruh.
There'll be tilapia.
There'll be tilapia, fresh tilapia.
Quick, in my mind.
Okay, so this comment is quite long. He says his name is Tatata, aka Bedroom $1 million. Charlie,
Everybody now they do bedrooms on.
Charlie, Bedroom $1 million.
The
Tatata. If the current state of Ghana football is grand enough to retain Kurt as president, then I'm done with Ghana football. That will confirm how they've got no vision and no room for actual growth. Sport exists today because of the fans. Without the fans, there will be no football. Yes, we don't have a vote, but we have a say. Ignore our concerns and their families, and their families will watch the concerts alone in various stadiums henceforth. Focus on Europe, guys. At least they are serious with the business. We also had a message from Seydou Adamu, a regular listener of the show. And he sent this one. Gary, I disagree with you and Sicho when you say because the masses do not have a vote, they have no say. And this is in reaction to what we were saying about Rubiales and that the football people may want him and,
No,
you know.
it's factual. It's not. It's factual.
He said, read the resignation letter from Sepp Blatter in 2015 again, where he emphasized in these issues. The masses are the consumers of football. And even though they have no vote, their voices play a major role in the success of the game. Nice show. So that's from
the role the masses play, Gary, is the tickets you buy in the merchandise.
Yeah.
But in decision making, and unless somebody has done something bad, you protest, get on the streets. But you got to about those key things.
The people
Where the World Cup will go, how the sponsorship. Charlie, they are using us. Accept it.
That's the point.
They are using us.
Football people will always use us to make their money. We give them the money.
That let us have. It will be Blatter right. But another day we'll talk about it.
That was a PR.
That's a PR move.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sammy Moore says, Gary, even the commentator during the final match between Spain and England made a mistake and called Rubiales Pablo Zabaleta. Oh, wow. I see. You make like you say you're not going to have the J. Mr. J.
Senior
Papa
one.
J.
You
Senior
come.
one. Senior one.
Senior
Senior
one.
one. Senior one. Senior one. Sakatu from Luton says, Abutre brothers, Cristiano hasn't conquered football yet. Messi has conquered football. But Gary, I thought you have switched camp to the Messi camp now. No. Yeah, I'm just doing my job as a journalist. So if Messi scores and it's me, I'll post.
You see, this guy is a politician.
He said,
Make Danike convince you.
he says, make Danike convince you. Make them focus on Arabian goods. Difference. Anyway, please. Okay, Amani, please, you and your pundits, is the kiss a true kiss? Hey.
Charlie,
kiss-
true
kiss-
love is.
Fake is the-
But why you
is
feel
it?
say the Spanish people born? No?
The kiss
Because
is
Jenny
inside.
and also she be fine lady.
Yeah, they go.
And the
Yeah.
guy also say, I didn't-
Me, the thing jealousy too there inside.
just
Because
keep
they
it.
don't understand why they know if you get a tea and Rubiales we kiss the girl free like that. We get her free like
He
that.
took advantage. Because of the power he holds, he took advantage.
Emmanuel says he's watching the show live in Guinea. I suppose he's watching the stream. The midfield of RME are in action this night, and I'm looking forward to it. What's RME?
Real Madrid. No.
He said the midfield of
RME. That it's no.
Real Madrid.
He's talking about
Actually,
initials.
Some 3 separate players.
Yeah, 3 separate players.
RME.
Who is playing tonight?
Real Madrid are in action.
No,
fact
in
that-
England. Who is playing in England?
Chelsea is playing tonight.
He's typing. So wait. let's
Caicedo.
see.
So there's
He's typing.
Enzo, there's Enzo,
Enzo.
which is E. The M.
Romeo
Madueke.
Lavia.
Romeo
Romeo
Lavia.
Lavia.
And
No,
then
he's
the M.
typing. He's typing.
Where's
You go ahead.
Caicedo?
Make it
Moses
Caicedo.
Caicedo. Good afternoon. I'm bedroom Rodrigo De Paul. Hey,
From La Paz.
what is all these bedroom people texting us today?
Best will have studio Rodrigo De Paul.
Mohamed Kudus betrayed Chelsea for West Ham. Oh wow.
You don't take one, you go. You don't take one.
This deal pay me. I hope he produces not less than 3 goals this season. And due to what they did to Chelsea, they will suffer this season.
How did they do to Chelsea?
I have no idea.
Because they
Charlie.
beat Chelsea.
But what you've done to Liverpool, should you not be relegated?
What do you call? I was talking about the Ghanaian players.
Yeah.
And the injuries and stuff.
Interesting, yeah.
And this whole thing about where they start from is a problem.
Yeah.
The surfaces. If you ask people like Michael Essien and stuff like that, they'll
Michael
tell-
Steven
Essien,
Appiah.
I remember
Yeah,
Michael Essien,
yeah,
Kudus, someone, even currently Thomas
it
Partey.
is.
Steven Appiah.
And look at the
Steven
profile of
Appiah.
players we are talking about.
These were the players who came to mind.
Asamoah couldn't play past 30.
Look
After
at
30,
the
he was
profile of players we are talking about. You see, sometimes when we talk about getting the basics right, because is when you have to now get 40, 50, 60, 70 million moves. That is
how
when
old is Asamoah now? 31?
36ish year.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia, quick.
Quick.
20 million a year.
You see,
By retire.
but it tired. The
Yes,
body is
sir.
tired.
Yeah.
You saw the picture of Michael Essien when the camera
yes.
captured his thighs
Yeah.
and the cuts and things.
Yeah.
It be that day I talk say, hey, these guys they deserve every penny.
Boga.
Hey, footballers,
That's always been my argument.
Yeah.
they deserve every penny. It's incredible, eh?
When
Guy,
was the
the
last time
importance
you heard
of-
of Gerard Akaminko?
Oh, Charlie.
So
He
why-
went to London with.
What
I
is
saw
the
him with
key
Sadiq Obama playing the charity match now.
Yes.
The importance of infrastructure is in the DNA document.
Yeah,
It's there.
it's in the
football
the
DNA.
GFA DNA
they know.
document. They know. Anyway, let's move to athletics now.
That injured some 80 meters into his 200-meter heat. He's a national record holder in the event. He set that record back in April, but he's been battling an injury for some time now. And as we speak, he's currently in medical, and doctors are saying that he's aggravated the hamstring injury he had been carrying throughout the entire season. Joseph Polamo, on the other hand, did finish his race, but he told me after the race that he had his toe popped. He finished fit eventually with 20.56 seconds. He, though, as well, is a medical, getting an x-ray. So now, critically, Ghana is racing against time to get both of those athletes fit to be back for the relays on Friday.
It's something that comes and goes, and it got to do with your mental toughness too. When you are returning from injury, you are very conscious about it, like, hey, it can come again and all those things. So he needs to, get it out of his mind going into the race tomorrow.
So some of the cues ahead of the sad news that Team Ghana was withdrawing from the 4x100. Meanwhile, we had expectations. Let me bring the guys in again, and you can text us. You can text us 055-1111-997. Lots of you have not been happy about what you say, the preparations, and so we spend the last 20 minutes on athletics, and then maybe 15, and then we do some some previews for this weekend's games and stuff like that. Muftawu, first of all, have you been happy with the handling of everything? Let me start right that way. Everything.
That's
Team Ghana.
Question,
Yeah.
because it is very interesting considering the fact that this relay team has always been Ghana's major spotlight when it comes to championships like this. 3 major competitions, 3 national records set. The recent one in Oregon, 38.07 seconds. You would expect that those in charge of the athletics would invest more in this area. I was hoping that we're going to have a team that would be able to compete. And I do also recall that the Ghana Athletics tried getting as many as 6 athletes to the World Championships. Unfortunately, Safo Ansah could not get a visa to make the trip to Hungary for the competition. So that's why we're left with just 5 athletes. And with the injuries to Joseph Paul-Amoah and James Tassi, the 2 major spotlights of this team, James Tassi, 19.79 seconds, Joseph Paul-Amoah, 20.08 seconds. The fastest runners of this quartet female unfortunately got injured. I saw the X-ray scans, and the very moment it came to my attention, I was like, no, there was absolutely no way that the team was going to compete in this event. And I think what Ghana Athletics could have done, considering the fact that there seemed to be a certain consistency from the relay team, was to just maybe try and train, say, 9, 10 athletes. So
Good.
we can have
I was going to that.
teams.
Prince Redu has asked me a very blunt question, and all these questions I'm going to ask you are those that I've gathered from people.
Yeah.
They are concerns.
Yeah.
Prince Redu says, Gary, correct me if I'm wrong, but shouldn't we have taken more than 5 runners for the 4x100?
Yeah. And that's actually what Ghana Athletics tried doing. They wanted to take 6 athletes.
Standard is 6.
Standard is 6.
6 athletes.
So if you had
and
2 down,
Safo,
we could have
Ansah
Couldn't
was
get
denied
the-
visa
okay.
to make the trip. So if the other 2 got injured and were out, Safo Ansah was definitely going to step in for them to run. I know the plan that Coach Elom went with was to have James Dazi for the first curve. Then you have either Raymond French or Raymond French was going to do the back straight, and then you are going to have Edwin Gadai on the 3rd curve, and then Joseph Paul-Amoah as the anchor leg. But unfortunately, with Safo Ansah not getting a visa to make the trip, it was going to be difficult. But I actually think that we need to expand. Team
Why
Ghana.
though? Why did he not get the visa? Because it doesn't come out well.
It doesn't.
He's an
come out so
athlete.
well. It's an
Yeah.
athlete. He's supposed
He's
to get a visa.
competed outside before. He's recognized. So how was he?
Why?
The
And
The
do you
entire
have answers?
The entire team Ghana was denied visa by the Hungarian embassy, including officials, including the president of Ghana Athletics. He was denied visa.
Why?
He had to make the trip via
France.
the France embassy
yes.
because
So he had a Schengen visa for the training, and that's what he's using in Hungary.
so that's what he used to enter
Hungary.
Hungary for the World Athletics Championships. I cannot tell.
Why?
But what I do know is that the Hungarian embassy gave visas to only 2 people for the trip. 2. Safo Ansah, Ghana Athletics had tried getting him the visa prior, because I recall when World Athletics sent an email somewhere June 20. It was a list of people who had been invited to come for the World Athletics Championships. And the Hungarian embassy forwarded this email to the people, because all those in the World Athletics list
Yeah.
all got the email.
Okay.
So I got a copy of that email,
Yes.
which came on June 20. And the Hungarian embassy, in their response, stated the requirements for people to come.
Sure.
So the athletes, the likes of Safo Ansah and Bao Fusaini and co, they all went on June 20 because that was the date that they were given to come. Unfortunately, they were all denied a visa. All of them.
So you've not answered the. We have to because
so it's
the person is an
to,
athlete.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand.
And
You,
the World
why not giving the
Athletic
person a visa?
Championship.
That's the question.
you have accepted to host the World Athletic Championships. It is not ants who will run and who do the athletics. It is not frogs.
Okay, so let me tell you
It is
something.
human beings. So
Gary, let me
if
tell you something. It even went too far. It went as far as even the minister of sports.
I mean we know those people of
placed
repute who
he had to place a call. He placed a call to the
High Commissioner?
acting
Ambassador.
and made it clear. You are hosting a competition. Team Ghana is coming.
I'm the sports minister. I'm leading
I'm the
them.
sports minister. Why are people denying us visas? The only thing they said was that they had to appeal.
I'm sorry, and
I'm
it was
sorry,
too late.
Appeal. And the appeal
Charlie is
is
on way.
160 euros.
Yes,
So-
and you see that's an annoying thing. You are going to appeal for. I'm coming to your World Athletics Championship. That Charlie,
So it was.
Yeah, Daddy.
Let me have a
it was
quick
pretty
one.
difficult.
yeah.
From day one, when we touched down in
Hungary.
Hungary, James Dazi had a heavy strapping on his hamstring.
Yes, he did.
We knew it was an injury,
Yeah.
an injury that could come at any time.
Please, your microphone. We're getting some. Okay.
We knew it was something that could pop up at any time. Now, this is my thinking. When you listen to the interviews directly addressing our targets for this competition, they said we had to make the final of the relays.
Yes.
They didn't make mention of any individual race.
Sure.
Team Ghana as a whole, our group target was to make the final of the relay,
Which suggested.
which suggested that is why we are going there.
Yeah.
Okay, Gary, if that is the case, why do you allow an athlete that is carrying an injury to risk the overall goal by going to compete in an individual where he wasn't even guaranteed to make a final?
At all.
Trese Odrane Keke.
Yeah.
Why won't you keep him and let him run the 100? He was supposed to be the first.
Yeah.
Run that 100. You risk it. If we finish the race and he can't even run for the final, we've achieved our goal.
Which is to qualify
Which
for
is
the
to qualify
next.
for the relay. Because you don't have a large enough team. You know that James Dadzi and Joe Paul are conk. They are going to be part of the 4 who are running. The other one was just a sub. So don't risk the most promising athlete this year.
Yeah.
Somebody that we already know. You see, it's not like the thing just happened. The guy said hamstring. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to tell Kevin De Bruyne. Apparently, hamstring is mental. When you think about it, that's when it will come. If you don't think about it,
No, but to be fair, it's not the first time I've heard sportsmen
Yeah.
say that hamstring is and the
Not
exact line they
psychological
use is
thing.
that what like you tend to think about it too much.
Yeah, and
It's not the first time I've heard
No.
it.
The thing is,
Or what are they trying to say?
it can affect you if you think about it too much.
Okay.
Because if you think about it too much, you don't exert yourself.
Okay.
That is the.
But we pray.
We proud. If you are hurt, you are hurt. It's not about thinking about it that will bring the thing back. If you fix it, you fix it. If you don't fix it, it's not when you think about it, the thing will come. It doesn't work like that. So my point is, if we knew that was the goal, which is very important, because right now what is going to happen is that the African Games, now we are under pressure to succeed at the
Not just
African
Africa
Not-
Games.
yeah.
We
We
even
need to
have
run a lot more races.
We have to enter into more competitions
Hey.
ahead of the
Bahamas,
Bahamas,
yeah.
World Relays. And that is going to be a major challenge because you need to look for these competitions
Yeah.
and enter.
No,
Yeah.
you see, my thing is, even if we are not able to get those competitions, the pressure to make the time at the African Games is now paramount because you can't just go there and go and compete.
Now we have to build
you have
points.
to make
Yeah.
to build points,
Yeah.
and that will get you into Bahamas, and that has completely gone against the plan. So why did you let him run in the 200? Because for me,
You
I
see-
saw,
you see,
it was a
Daniel,
useless race for
Daniel,
me.
not to cut you, but to cut you. The guy qualified per the World Athletic Standards for 200 meters. Joseph Paul Amoa qualified per the World Athletic Standards to compete in the 200 meters.
Yeah.
When you qualify, It is now your decision to compete at the event.
Yeah.
And in fact, it is, if you read the World Athletics regulations when it comes to competing at events, it's like you qualifying for the World Cup and say that I'm not going for the World Cup.
Okay.
It's not acceptable.
Yeah.
You've qualified.
There are sanctions.
In fact, when he ran 19.79 seconds, it was a world lead for 2 weeks. And if you take a look at even the competition happening right now, it is rare for athletes to even run at 19.
Yeah.
It's just Noah Lyles who yesterday did 19.76 to win his semi-final. So he had qualified. He had to compete. Joseph Paul Amwa qualified. He had to compete. But I get the point you're making that maybe Ghana athletics, just like the way they've reached into World Athletics and made them understand
Because
that
we've seen it before.
But you need an explanation.
And that's my point. I'm saying that this is not something we've not seen.
Yeah,
We've seen it before.
It's the team management.
We've seen athletes pull out of individuals,
yeah.
even though they've qualified to focus on the relay
relays,
because
yes.
of their fitness. We've seen it before. In fact, if you go back to, I've forgotten the Olympic Games, but it was Tyson Gay. He left the individual 100, and they just allowed him to compete for US in the relays because he wasn't fit. If he had done it, he could have risked injury and it would have affected their relay team. We've seen it before. If you go to World Athletics and you tell the person them that the guy can't do 2 races in 1 week, they understand
For health reasons,
We've
because
seen some before.
safety
It's not
is paramount.
Yes, so that's
And
where
in
you
fact,
put your foot down as a
athletics
leader
makes
to
it
make sure
important.
that our collective goal when we're coming is achieved.
You see, just to round off. This was, I can tell you that this and Muftawu, you may know this. This was the thinking. But sometimes it's like a player who insists that I'll play the penalty.
Oh, I know, that's why I'm angry. No, I know, that's why I'm angry.
It's like a player.
I want to be the one who will take the penalty.
Like,
I know.
You say, you are the captain. It be you for play first. And he says, no, I'm when the captain, but I have to play last.
Yeah.
And then with you, and then it's a problem. So this thinking, but did the athletes themselves?
Yeah, but at least as you agree. No,
I know, no.
At least as you agree.
Danny, sometimes
as a leader, I don't care.
I know.
Not necessarily.
No, I don't care.
You have to care.
Not necessarily
because
if you do this, Africa Games, I can drop you.
Yes.
Because what you've done is selfishness.
Yes, agreed. You can drop him. But when you go to the championships, for an athlete who has made the time and has the right.
And he's a world leader.
Yes, he's a world leader. And he has the right to.
No, listen.
He led for 2 weeks.
He was world leader.
Yes. So for an athlete who has made the time, the athlete absolutely has to also agree that I'm not running for the individual, but I'll focus on the collective.
The athlete said he's fine.
Yes.
The athlete, he said he's fine.
He's fine.
If you listen to the video, let me play the Elom video again. You see, I don't know whether it's me. Me, listen to the choice of words that the coach.
You could tell he wasn't convinced.
Hamstring is something that comes and goes, and it got to do with your mental toughness too. You know, when you are returning from injury, you are very conscious about it. Like, hey, it can come again and all those things. So he needs to, get it out of his mind going into the race tomorrow. If he thinks about it too much, it's definitely going to affect him. But hey, that's Jim Dazi. He's a tough guy. He has to get the hamstring injury out of his mind. Like, if he has to.
No, not even this one. I think it's afterwards. After, I'll look for that one if I can find it in time.
This was before.
This was before. Yeah. Afterwards, when he was talking about it, it's based. You know, sometimes the athlete feels like, because this is James Dazi's first World Championships.
And
you see, if the boy feels like I'm the world leader, you say I'm a small boy. I'm a world leader. I was a world leader for a while, and I've gone all the way there. Do you know how many family members are watching him?
And in fact, his individual chances would matter to him than maybe the collective.
You understand?
I get it.
No, we know you get it, but we want listeners to understand.
And for me, and for listeners, no, seriously, for listeners, we are Ghanaians. We didn't go there. Actually, I said this thing on Sports Zone.
Yeah.
Boga, rich. It's as simple as that.
Since
the 1979, you got an injury and it's affected your time. You are not in that form. When you understand it, then you know that, look, Charlie, we want to go to Olympics.
That's amazing.
Because if we don't go to Olympics, we will look back at this moment and say, what if?
Yeah.
Just relax. As for your time, it will come. Individual. Azamati could have competed. He could also have risked it.
Yeah.
But he's looking at the future and he's looking at the fact that if I rest right now, next year I'll come back. I'll be ready, fully ready to compete, so that taxpayers' money will not go to waste. You understand? So when you are going there, just make sure that Boga.
For me, it's
You do
the
first
implications
leg.
for me.
Pass the baton.
it's
We make the final. We are
It's
done.
very difficult.
Because right now,
really, really difficult. And in
accumulating
fact, I
points.
am more pained for Edwin Gadai.
Yeah.
This is a dude who has always looked out for an opportunity
To best out.
to burst out.
I said it last week, right?
And all of a sudden,
that
when the opportunity
they
one
said
to look out for.
he's the one to look
Because
out for.
somebody
And
wanted to run 200.
it's off. It's
So now they have to look for.
so please explain for listeners why we are making a big deal out of it. One, because they can't run in the 200s final or whatever.
Yeah.
It means then that we don't qualify for
We'll
the
not-
World Relay Championships in Bahamas,
Bahamas,
in May next year.
Yeah, we are not automatic qualifiers.
We are automatic. It means that we have to pass back door.
yeah, we need to.
You have to do
The
playoffs.
Africa Games,
Playoffs.
Africa Games
Games.
2023, which starts in March next
Yeah.
year. We need to also enter as many competitions as possible so
Build
we can
points.
gather points,
Accumulate points.
accumulate points,
And that
We need-
takes money.
And we need to run faster times.
Yeah.
The national record we have it right now is 38.07 seconds. If we want to make it to the Paris, it's that we should look, and we've never done
You have to shatter it.
Sub 38.
sub 38.
That's where we need to reach to get
So
automatic.
we need to maybe a 38 or sub 38 to actually stand a chance of qualifying, because at this point it's really
Some
really
way. Be
difficult.
some way.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. We've done three
Guys,
broad
please,
issues
can I
today.
do a shout out?
Yeah, do a shout out. But let me read this one. It's money issue, please. Let me read it.
Shout out to no go
Betway
bring
Golden Code promo. Are you ready to get way more back with Betway in the new season? Use the golden booking code that you can find on the Betway site and place your risk-free bet from the 25th to 27th of August. Guaranteed to give you 100% back as a free bet up to 50 cedis if you lose. Betway, regulated by the Gaming Commission, not for under 18s. Terms and conditions apply. Betway, bet your way. Petrosol says every drop matters. Yes, just as every penny counts. Did you know quality fuel enhances your vehicle performance and reduces maintenance cost? Take no risk. In times like this, all you need is value for your money. Look no further than Petrosol and the fuel stations. Go to your station for accurate quantity and high quality. Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, and Petrosol, your delightful experience as well. Charlie, so is Fence on the line? We've been waiting for Fence since a year. He's unfortunately he's now come online, but our time is also up. Thank you to the guys for showing up today, as usual.
Get my shout out.
Yeah, your
They
shout out,
hear
your
me,
shout
oh.
out.
They hear me. Oh,
Shout
eh.
out, shout out.
She said, if I don't talk, if I don't come, how
So you mentioned her name
My
and
wife-
go.
So do 'em.
My wife, Belinda Lavi, said, if I don't give a shout out, it's okay. It's okay. No further comment.
Belinda.
Labi.
Okay.
She
I
said,
thought it
if I
was-
don't give her a shout out, make her no call him again. Belinda, take your shout out.
Okay. Thank you very much. Belinda, what's up? Belinda,
Right,
you
the
cool?
battle has ended. Though.
Yes.
Yes, tomorrow,
Uh-huh.
the one who was standing in front of me,
Yeah.
the one I was waiting for to marry so that I can also marry, is going to marry.
Who?
My big brother.
Uh-huh.
So after tomorrow,
You two, you can marry.
I'm free.
You've been unleashed.
I've been unleashed.
It's now official. Join